It's time to get all set for Sunday, a podcast for busy and distracted Catholics with your hosts, Scott Williams and Jeff Traylor.
When I hear the coffee brewing, I think, what the heck we doing? Because I got barely any sleep last night. As the diaper bag I pack with Hot Wheels dollies and some snacks, I say a prayer there'll be a seat in the crime room this time. It's alright, cause I'm all set for Sunday. It's alright, cause I'm all set for. It's alright, cause I'm all set for. It's alright, cause I'm all set for Sunday.
Welcome to All Set for Sunday, a podcast for busy and distracted Catholics to be a little more prepared for a Sunday Mass. My name's Scott Williams. My co-host is Jeff Traylor. Hey, Jeff.
You feeling a little Italian today?
No, I'm excited to be here.
Oh, I'm excited too. I'm doing great, Scott.
I'm bringing the juice.
You are bringing the juice. That's right. Yeah.
Father Christian Raab, how are you?
Splendid. Couldn't be better. Couldn't be more excited to be with you all today.
You look very leisurely today. Are you lounging in the lazy boy?
Yeah, I'm kind of lounging. Yeah.
Amazing. Father, you're still out in Jasper at a parish, correct? St. Joseph?
Correct.
But you're still a Benedictine monk of St. Meinrad, correct?
Correct.
All right.
Yeah.
You haven't lost any of your faculties. You're all set.
No, I'm still checking all the boxes.
That's amazing.
Still dog dad.
Yeah.
What's your new dog's name again?
Samson.
Samson. I was way off. All right.
What were you calling him?
No, it's
sorry.
a quote from Dumb and Dumber.
You ever seen Dumb and Dumber?
No.
Swinson.
Yeah.
Samsonite.
It's written on there. Samsonite. I was way off. Oh, there's Samson.
Oh, just a good boy.
Can we get that dog a barrel to wear around its neck?
Yeah, that's Samson.
All right.
Awesome.
Ready for the 2-minute drill?
I am.
Great.
Are you?
I'm pumped.
25th. Let me check to make sure we're recording. It's the 25th Sunday in Ordinary Time. Our first reading comes from Amos. Amos calls out the kind of shady business practices of the rich folks who can't wait for the Sabbath to be over so they can start cheating the poor people again and stealing from them. They got crooked scales. They've got inflated prices. They're trying to take advantage of people. And God isn't just taking notes, but he swears that he will not forgive what they've done. A sharp reminder that our Sunday best doesn't mean much. Like showing up and getting all fancy for church on Sunday doesn't mean much if on Monday, if Monday through Saturday, we're living a different life and we're being dishonest. And so our responsorial psalm then, praise the Lord who lifts up the poor. Or
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Yeah, it's back. But praise the Lord who lifts up the poor, I think is just a meh. I don't know. Here's my prediction. This week we will hear some parishes pivot to the Lord hears the cry of the poor.
Oh,
blessed be the poor.
Oh,
I think that's because that's a banger.
Yeah.
But I think that will be one where people are
that's a different psalm, yeah?
Yeah, it is. But as we
Jeff, you sound like a guy who's been to church a few times.
I've been around the church. I've heard a few psalms in my day.
You can predict the psalm.
Change.
Yeah, pretty impressive.
Yeah, some churches just go play the hits, right? We've got like these 10, and we're just going to hit these 10.
What if you're like a sneaky musician or director?
You didn't
just
know?
like Duke Silver, like that was your weekend.
I'm just working for like some small parish in like Eastern Ohio.
Yep.
Like someplace where just far enough away. Yeah. That'd be funny. Duke of Silver. All right. The second reading then comes from 1 Timothy. So Paul urges everyone to pray seriously, pray for everyone, from kings to regular folks, so we can all live peaceful lives, because God wants all people to be saved, and Jesus is the one mediator that makes that all possible. So Paul even throws in his own credentials, as he often does, right? And lets us know, like, hey, I'm telling the truth. I'm not lying. I've had tough times, but I'm here. Mm-hmm. And he wraps it up with a call for men to pray with holy hands lifted, not fists clenched in anger. So, which I think we followed that. I don't know that I've ever prayed with my fists clenched.
No,
No.
never
Maybe
been
I'll
like,
try it this
"Oh."
weekend. Just our Father. Yeah.
Well, I think it'd probably be more like a crying out to God.
Yeah. Oh, that's fair. Yeah.
Why? Kind of thing.
I go like emotional and sad. I don't do the balling up fists. And maybe that's just me. I'm a big softy.
Yeah.
And then our gospel reading comes from Luke chapter 16, 1-13. Father, we going short form, long form?
Big decision.
Short form.
Short form. There's two types of people in this world. People who do the short form.
People who do the long form.
That's right. Or as what Father other priests around here would say, people who do the long form and cowards. So, all right, short form. Jesus said to his disciples, "The person who is trustworthy in very small matters is also trustworthy in great ones. And the person who is dishonest in very small matters is also dishonest in great ones. If therefore you are not trustworthy with dishonest wealth, who will you trust with your true wealth? If you are not trustworthy with what belongs to another, who will give you what is yours? No servant can serve two masters. He will either hate one and love the other, or be devoted to one and despise the other. You cannot serve both God and mammon."
All right.
Mammon. I never know.
Amos. All right, Father. Jeff, get anything wrong?
No.
No?
Jeff did a
No.
great job.
Good job, Jeff.
Father's like, whatever gets us past the banter,
Yes. Yes.
even on his own podcast.
What are you preaching on this weekend?
So it's really funny.
Thank
Just
you.
let me preface and say that I have been on your podcast a few times, and I had this gospel one other time.
Oh,
And-
Really?
Yeah. And it was the worst episode I ever did. It was so terrible. And that gospel,
Now I remember.
the gospel's super hard. The make friends with dishonest wealth, super hard. And so that's why I chose the short form, because I'm not going to preach on the gospel. I don't know if I'll ever preach on the gospel ever again, by the way.
Oh, that was just a gift to me. Thank you.
So, no, I think it's a really tough parable. And, you can do it, but you got to lay a lot of groundwork and explain a lot of things, I think, to do it well. I'm going to preach on the first reading.
I just I love that, and I love your honesty so much, and I always appreciate that about you. But this is a way funnier thing coming from someone who teaches this. Like you're teaching, like you teach. Don't
That's
you
how you
teach a
If
class
it's
on
hard,
homiletics?
You choose a
I
different
do
reading.
not teach homiletics.
Oh
But,
no, okay,
I just think it's a really hard parable.
yeah,
I think actually, if you talk to a lot of priests, they'll say the same thing. It's a really hard text.
that's what you teach in class. Listen, sometimes the gospel's hard. That's why we have two other readings and a psalm.
Exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. There is no problem with going to a different text. None. So, yeah, I think I want to talk about. I want to talk about the first reading. So, the reading from the prophet Amos is really alerting us to God's care and concern for the poor. And in my Holy Orders class that I teach at the seminary, we always read this great article. I have them read it every year, every class, called "What Manner of Man is the Prophet?" By a Jewish theologian named Abraham Heschel. And in this article, he really
Did you say a Jewish or?
yeah.
Okay.
Abraham Heschel. He's a Jewish theologian.
Got it.
He in this article he talks about how what really a prophet is. Like people think that. I mean, we just kind of get kind of kooky ideas sometimes. Like what a prophet is basically is somebody almost like a fortune teller. Like they're predicting the future, and that's what their whole game is. But his point, and I think he's absolutely right on. What the prophets say definitely have implications for the future, but they're really speaking to the present, and they're telling us how God feels about the present. And a prophet is somebody who is close enough in their intimacy with God that they actually can sort of feel God's feelings about what's going on in the world. And so that they have all this kind of fiery passion about things, and prophets tend to be very dramatic. But, Amos sees the injustice of the world, and he's bothered by it, and he's showing us how bothered God is by it, right? I mean that's the genius of the prophet, is they kind of share in God's own sentiments about the hatred of evil, the hatred of injustice, the sadness for people who are oppressed and so badly treated, right? So I think it's just powerful for us to think about how God so badly, it's like God's heart is broken over the plight of people, and a lot of times, like in this particular text, the prophet is talking about how bad the poor have it at the hands of the rich. And I don't think this is like, I think American lens, we're always like a little like, oh, let's not turn this into class warfare or like anything like that. And I get that. But I think the reason that God is so bothered by the actions and the deeds of the rich and the powerful is that nobody holds them accountable, right? I mean, if the poor and the powerless sin, and of course they do, right? It's not that the poor and the powerless don't do bad things or don't do wrong things. They do. But when they do bad things, they usually don't get away with it. Their life already has lots of kinds of terrible consequences. Their reward, quote unquote reward, is very immediate. And the difficulty is that with the rich and the powerful, their sins so often go unchecked, and it's very easy for them to dismiss people, to treat people as disposable, to make decisions that are not really considering what is going to be the plight of the poor or the people who have less power. And so I think the prophets are always really inclined to speak to this. And I think Amos is an example of this today. And the Psalm is also an example of, on the one hand, you have Amos's condemnation of the way that the rich and powerful are abusing and exploiting. And then the Psalm is telling us that God's on the other side. God is not abusing and exploiting. He's looking out for the poor. He's looking out for the powerless. He wants to lift them up. He wants to protect them. He wants to provide for them. He wants to give them a better way. He's looking out for them when nobody else is. And so, I think that to me is what really sticks out in these readings. And I'm probably going to use the opportunity also to remind people again that we're in this Jubilee year of hope. And one of the things that the Jubilee year of hope is about is spreading hope through the works of mercy. And so to invite people once again to participate in the works of mercy. Our parish it's been really cool. We've been doing this thing all year where we have the Mercy of the Month, and we have little like ways that we promote one or two different works of mercy every month and invite people to get involved and do different things. And so I'll be talking about that. Yeah.
Why do you think it is that like the wealthy and the powerful, that their sins go unchecked, and like what's the opposite of that? when the non-powerful sins do go checked.
Well, I think I mean is that there is nobody on earth. There's really nobody to hold the rich and the powerful accountable a lot of times. And it's just easier for them to get away with things because nobody has the power to hold them accountable.
Or the accountabilities that are applied don't impact them in this, somebody
the
gets
guy
in
who
trouble.
can pay a fine versus the guy who has to go to prison,
Yeah. Or who can pay bail versus has to bond out or can't get bonded or, I was recently listening to a podcast talking about, this is like less serious, but it was about an NBA owner who is the sixth wealthiest man in the world, who had, like, people believe has violated like a major salary cap rule in the NBA. But the last time he's done this before, and the last time he did it, he was fined $7.5 million. But they made the point that is the equivalent to like $10 for somebody who's worth about $200,000.
Yeah.
So somebody who's like total net worth is about 200,000. That's a $10 fine. So like, 7.5 million sounds crazy high, but like for him, it's literally like falling out of his wallet. I think that's what I thought of when you talked about that as kind of the scale of like, what is the thing that impacts this person? And and not to mention, you just like, there are countless stories out there of people who can afford good lawyers, can afford good firms, can afford, like, they just don't they don't go to jail. They don't get punished. They don't get the same results,
That's not necessarily more like civil law type stuff. Not
I think that's what he meant by
like,
tell me if I'm wrong.
That's
like,
one thing.
Morality.
Also just, I mean, outside of maybe the crime and punishment framework, but like, it's just very easy for the rich and powerful to, to do what they want, motivated by selfishness. And I mean, we're all sinners. I'm not saying that the rich and powerful are any more sinful than anybody else, but it's easier, I think, to act and not worry about the good of the other, because you don't see the consequence, you don't feel the consequence, you don't experience the consequence. And I'm one of the things that's kind of was in the news not too long ago was like, I'm not trying to pick on any particular business, but it's like Amazon, right? And like automating all the delivery systems, and how, is that going to put a bunch of people out of work? I'm not here to say that that's a good decision or a bad decision. I don't know, because I'm not inside it, but I know that any decision that is made simply to make more money without regard for the human good of other people is really a bad thing, right? Like you can't, the last line of the gospel, you can't serve God and mammon. And the whole purpose of our wealth, the whole purpose of our blessings, the whole purpose of our prosperity is to bless people. It's not to just simply accumulate more wealth. And so when rich and powerful people make decisions simply in order to accumulate more power or wealth for themselves without thinking of the human good of the other, that's it's a wicked thing. It's a kind of thing that God hates. And I like thinking about AI and like all the things that are going to be lost and jobs and whatever. That is another kind of example. I'm reminded of when I was in India, and this was a long time ago, but India is a very poor country. But when I went to McDonald's in India, and they do have McDonald's in India, it's the only McDonald's in the world, I think, where there's no beef. But you go to McDonald's in India. See, it's a very poor country, and there's a lot of people who might not have any work opportunities. But their society, which is far from perfect, but this is something beautiful I saw. This is my point. You go to McDonald's, there's a guy whose job it is to open the door. There's a guy whose job it is to pump the ketchup for you. Would it be possible for us to do all these things for himself? Sure, that's how we do it here. Nonetheless, there's like a sense of responsibility that people who have to take care of people who have not, right? That we don't just simply leave people without a way of working or providing for themselves or a means, even though we could maybe eliminate all these things. We don't. Why? What's the point? Just so somebody can have more money? We need to have a society that kind of looks out for people and makes decisions based on what is going to be for the good of people and not simply for the accumulation of more wealth. I think that's the thing that the prophets really hate and get at. So, I'm not making any kind of argument here about what the laws should be.
I think what you did say is like
what our hearts should be.
Yeah, I think what you and Scripture tells us, like, the going through the eye of the needle is hard, right? Like it's not necessarily intrinsically evil for someone to gain wealth, but what you do with that wealth, like, is it going to be put to the will of the other, or is it going to bring people closer to God, or is it going to be all for selfish, narcissistic, vanity reasons? I think those are two different things. Jeff and I just recently went to a conference where it was a gathering of lots of Catholic business owners and leaders, and it's people that have a net worth of much more than any of us sitting here are. I assume that with your vow of poverty that yours is relatively low, but
you got that Benedictine money.
I think I have a very tiny bank account because of living apart, and so like it's just something so I can get cash out of. So it's like my whole like possessions like is in the hundreds of dollars, right? That's it. So anyway,
I'm in the negatives, so that's all right.
Yeah.
But it was really interesting to hear from them, because like there's also something good and beautiful about people that are building businesses and providing employment and doing those things, but it can also be can get a bad rap for that as well. So it's a tricky place to be in, and especially when you're called to not only build a business but build a profitable business that serves people in a community. That you hear a lot of different things from a lot of different people, but you got to be in their shoes too.
I think that's the key thing is right to say, well, who is this serving, right? It's like, I think a business can be great. It can be a wonderful and awesome thing. It's just that the eye of it has to be on like the purpose of work is man, right? And the purpose of it's to benefit human beings, and the purpose of our prosperity or our blessings is for the good of people. And so when our own desires of just to increase our own wealth, right, when selfishness starts to flow in such a inflated or distorted way that we're not doing the good we could, we're not helping other people, we're not looking out for them, and we're not trying to find ways for them to have their own means of living and dignity of life. So I think like anything else, money, power, it can be a means of service, or it can be a means of exploitation and selfishness. Sure. And the prophets are very critical of how the rich and the powerful exploit and treat other people as sort of just means to an end that can be disposable if they're not profitable.
Yeah. Well, speaking of the end, you ready for some dumb questions?
I thought you were just going to skip them.
No.
All right, Father.
Got to get to the dumb questions.
As a semi-avid listener, you may have not, unless you also skip dumb questions when you skip banter.
It's been a little while, I have to confess. I've been so busy lately. But go ahead. What were you going to say? As an avid listener,
we've been doing a series of or I've been asking on a series of questions, which is we're talking about musical instruments played in church.
Okay.
So I've got a list of these instruments. I want to know your top 3, bottom 2 out of this list.
Okay.
So I'm gonna read the list. You got to rank your top 3, and then you got to tell me your 2 least favorite.
Okay.
This has been quite fun because it's been all over the board.
I bet. But I already know I already know my top and bottom. Go ahead.
Okay. You don't even know the list, so
I'm
going to ask you after I read the list if you
go for it.
All right. Pipe organ, piano, guitar, violin, flute, trumpet, harp, ukulele, tambourine, and drum set.
Oh, wow. Okay. So I thought I was only going to have to rank 5. Like, I thought there were only going to be 5.
Oh, no, no.
Okay. So, I
it's
didn't
also
realize
assumed you love anyone that doesn't make any list.
Okay. So I have to tell you my top.
Yes. Number
3.
1. Top 3, yeah.
And bottom 2.
Yep.
Okay. Top 3 would be regular piano.
Ooh.
Regular piano, number 1.
Yeah. Trumpet.
Trumpet, number 2.
Yeah. I'm going to say guitar.
Wow. All right.
Okay.
Bottom 2.
The absolute bottom is the pipe organ.
What? Bombshells.
Oh man. And pretty much I'm okay with anything else. So
you got to rank another one. What's your other bottom?
That's the only instrument I don't really like.
We're talking about while being played during Mass.
Correct.
Okay. Just wanted to clarify.
Probably a drum set would be my second to bottom.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Man, that is
you're a start. You are a Benedictine monk of St. Meinrad.
Uh-huh.
That has one of the largest, most beautiful organs I've ever seen and heard.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you hate the organ?
Yeah.
Probably hears it a lot.
I feel so I should be very, I might have a real problem here because this is like borderline dissent, right? Because
it is.
The documents of the church say that the organ has a preferred place or it should be number 1, right? So this is borderline dissent.
Yeah, the Gospels do say that Jesus requires the pipe organ. I mean, that's
my understanding. So here's my argument. Here's why
it's the only music you can hear.
The primary instrument of liturgy is the human voice.
Yes, that's also been a part of our discussions.
And the organ
wasn't on the list.
Of all the things on that list, the organ is the thing that drowns it out. And that is why I have a real difficulty with the pipe organ. I have been in too many liturgies where I couldn't even hear my own voice because the pipe organ was blaring so loud. So I want to hear the image and likeness of God singing, not a pipe organ that is so loud I can't hear my own voice. So there's my soapbox. And why the drum set is the second to the bottom because of the same reason. It's so loud that you can't hear the human voice over it. Now, I did put a trumpet up really high, but I just have a soft spot for trumpet.
Okay.
I love a piano because I know when we're playing piano, we're going to sing and we're going to hear singing. but the piano, as opposed to the pipe organ, it makes room. It has space for the human voice, and so that is why I prefer the piano.
We're
And
just
a
a couple
guitar,
weeks from. We're just a couple weeks removed from the piano has no place in the church. We should burn them all to the ground.
Is that right?
This is an
I
awesome,
love it. Okay.
the awesome
But
juxtaposition.
I don't remember everything else that was on the list, but pretty much like the only
Tambourine, ukulele.
Now ukulele. I neutral. Like I don't really want to see a tambourine or ukulele, but I don't hate them the way I hate the organ and the drums, because
Organ. Every time you say it, it hits me like it's brand new.
Because they drown out people.
Oh gosh.
They drown out people.
You have spent much of your adult life chanting with an organ note playing.
But I hand it to the organ players at St. Meinrad. They know how to do it.
Well, there's like a little pedal there that they can.
They do.
Change the volume
play in a way that accompanies. But so at St. Meinrad, I don't hate the organ. I don't hate it at St. Meinrad.
Man at St. Joseph's.
My experience, particularly when I was at a very famous church in Washington, D.C., for a long time, was that it was so loud that I couldn't hear myself sing.
Is it the national famous church in Washington, D.C.?
It may be, in fact.
Okay.
So it's really all about volume, and whether it is accompanying the human voice. So I do have a philosophy behind my strong opinions on this matter. Yeah,
that was my favorite strong opinion. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Well, also burn all pianos to the ground.
That was a pretty good one too.
So
But thinking about
Father McCarthy.
Father McCarthy.
Okay. Yeah.
But we've had multiple anti-piano.
Well, we've had multiple people that were anti anything but organ, because that's what.
Yes,
I'm the first one.
Organ has made everyone's list.
Yeah,
I'm the first one who was against it.
Yes.
Mm-hmm,
yeah,
for sure.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
But it was on everyone's list. Just Sears having.
There are some priests that haven't made it on yet, so we'll see.
So ukulele, tambourine. What were some of the other ones?
Harp, flute, violin.
Those are all beautiful.
Ukulele, beautiful.
Those are all beautiful. And ukulele and tambourine. I mean, I don't like. Again, they're not drowning anything out. My only thing is, if people walk in and see a ukulele and tambourine, sort of like the drum set, like it kind of sends a confusing message of why we're there. Like it's a little
agreed.
Like, I feel a little bit more like I'm at a folk festival.
Yeah, that's fair. I do agree with that.
I don't think the guitar sends the same message. I know a lot of people hate guitar, but like, I don't know. I've been to enough Taizé liturgies with a guitar that I absolutely love it. Love it.
Yeah. So, what's that instrument where you put like a straw in your mouth and you play the guitar and it makes a funny noise while you're talking?
That's just a talk box with a guitar.
Talk box.
Yeah.
What about that? You ever seen that in mass?
No,
it's probably a good thing.
Although it's Peter Frampton would be kind of interesting. Have a Peter Frampton mass. They have like the U2 mass in the Anglican Church. They have the Eucharist. We could have the Peter Frampton mass.
Eucharist. Did you just say U2
You never heard of that?
No.
The Anglicans have a Eucharist. They should do a Peter Frampton mass with a talk box. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Do you have any more questions? Is that
I do.
Okay.
Hey, you recently went and saw where Pope Leo went to high school, right?
I did, with Jeff Traylor.
Yeah.
And
Elizabeth Traylor, my lovely wife. Yeah. We happened to literally, with no planning whatsoever, we're dropping my daughter off in Holland at Hope College. and I was texting Father Christian about somebody we had met there who had a son who was in seminary, and I was like, hey, do you know this person? It's my daughter's roommate's brother. And he goes, wait, are you in Holland? And I said, yeah. He goes, I'm gonna be there tomorrow. And for some reason he was just circling Lake Michigan and hanging out up there. But so we went and had brunch, and then we went to the property where the high school Pope Leo went to was. It was kind of cool. And then we got kicked out. But
Oh, really?
yep. The woman was like telling us to leave, and Father Christian's like, just take another picture. She's like, but really, you have to go. And he's like, okay. And then he's posing.
Anyway. It was fun to see you guys. And
no, it was really fun my wife was excited to meet you. She hears me talk about you often. And sometimes I think I know I know people that, and I talk about them enough that like she just knows them. And she's like, I've never met him. And I was like, oh, it's great.
Yeah, I never met her. She's cool. That was great.
This is not a dumb question as much as I have a funny, embarrassing story about me that I want to share.
Yeah.
So Monday I've been saving this from you, Scott. You haven't heard it yet.
I'm excited.
Monday I was at the Red Mass, which is a mass that the Archdiocese celebrates before the opening of the Supreme Court to pray for the justices. Beautiful mass. They had like 40 something judges and justices and magistrates there, and a lot of people. It was really awesome. Bailiffs? I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know. A lot of lawyers. So anyway, communion time. I'm walking up for communion, and like I got to that point where I had to decide if I was going to go left to the communion minister or go straight to the archbishop, right? And it was like, so I like kind of like threw a little jab set. I don't know why, but I was like trying to figure out who was going to go faster. Decided to go forward to the archbishop, and then I ended up like I didn't take a big enough step, so I was like far enough away from him that I wasn't like one step away, but I wasn't quite two steps. So I just tried to take one big step, but then like I somehow lost my balance a little bit and I like stumbled. But like I think there was and I know the archbishop well. I'm very like lucky too, and he knows me, and he kind of like snickered. And then later we were chatting, and like I think he was like, "Were you okay there?" But I think there's a chance he might have thought I was just hammered, and I was like going to mass at like 6 o'clock in the evening on a Monday night, because I definitely like stumbled, like it was like a little wobbly, and anyway, It was embarrassing, but
you made it.
Yes, I did. I survived. But anyway, that was my story. I just wanted to share.
Yeah, I mean, if there was a bailiff there, you could have gotten.
One of the judges could have locked me up. I guess
gone straight to jail.
Yeah.
All right, Father, thank you so much. This has been a joy and a privilege. Can't wait to see you again soon.
Okay.
Bye.
Yeah, awesome.
Bye, Father.
Take care.
It's alright, cause I'm all set for. It's alright, cause I'm all set for. It's alright, cause I'm all set for Sunday.